We observe Veterans Day on an anniversary, not of a great battle or of the beginning of a war, but of a day when war ended and our nation was again at peace. Ever since the armistice of November the 11th, 1918, this day has been to remember our debt to all who have worn the uniform of the United States. Our veterans have borne the costs of America's wars and have stood watch over America's peace. And today, every veteran can be certain the nation you served and the people you defended are grateful. Today and every day, the prayers of the American people are with those who wear our country's uniform. They serve a great cause, and they follow a great tradition handed down to them by America's veterans. Our veterans from every era are the finest of citizens. We owe them the life we know today. They command the respect of the American people, and they have our lasting gratitude. The military life is built around sacrifice and complete devotion to America. If you have lived that life, then you know the meaning of commitment to a greater cause. In so many ways, the life we live today has been shaped by our veterans. On Veterans Day, we remember the fallen, and we show our respect to those still among us, the veterans we know as our friends, neighbors, relatives, and colleagues. Not every veteran has known the full fury of battle, but most count their time in uniform among the defining experiences of their lives. The military drew out the best that was in them, instilling the highest standards of diligence, discipline, and loyalty. That is a bond joining every veteran from every branch of the service. Whether drafted or enlisted, commissioned or non-commissioned, each took an oath, lived by a code, and stood ready to fight and die for their country. More than a generation has passed since the war ended in Vietnam. Since that time, even since the war in the Persian Gulf, the technology of warfare has become far more complex and sophisticated. Yet our most basic military asset has not changed at all. It is the character, the daring, and the resourcefulness of those who do the fighting. No matter how complicated war might be, it always comes down to the ones who fly the planes, man the ships, and carry the rifles. And our country's military has left a legacy like no other fighting force ever assembled. The uniform they wear and the flag they carry are held in esteem wherever they have served. And that is their finest tribute. Across the world, to people who struggle and suffer, the sight of an American in uniform has meant hope, relief, and deliverance. Veterans Day is set aside to remember every man and woman who has taken up arms to defend our country. We honor every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and Coast Guardsman who gave some of the best years of their lives to the service of the United States and stood ready to give life itself on our behalf. 25 million veterans walk among us, and on this day, our nation thanks them all. When history looks back upon the records of our age and our nation centuries from now, I believe it will be written that once there was a great nation of free people who sent their very best young men and women out to serve on the frontiers of freedom in uniform. They went forth to defend their nation and its ideals, giving up the comforts and conveniences of home. They led lives of great consequence, for they kept the torch of liberty burning in the oldest democracy on earth. Each and every one of them were heroes, and gave to every child born thereafter a precious and irreplaceable gift. And their nation remained eternally grateful.
Veterans Day means celebrating the life of a veteran and, more importantly, the ultimate sacrifice that a veteran has had to give for the peace and freedoms that we have in our country. Without them, we wouldn't have anything that we have today.
Veterans Day means that you can celebrate what they have done for you to get you where you are today.
I think we celebrate Veterans Day to show the love and support we have for the veterans for everything they have done for us.
To me, Veterans Day honestly means the world. My dad is a veteran, as well as my grandfather, great-grandfather, and great-great-grandfather, as well as my grandmothers, both of them. So it means the world to me, and I absolutely love celebrating it.
I think we celebrate Veterans Day to honor the ones that served our country a while ago.
Veterans Day means to me the remembrance of the past, present, and future soldiers who have sacrificed time and who have sacrificed their lives, all for the good of this country. It also means that I get choked up and I get tears in my eyes every time a patriotic song comes on and the flag goes by me, because I remember of the sacrifices people have made for our great country. It also means to me that my sons who are serving their country right now in the Army, one is in Alaska and one is in Texas, it is the 5th generation on their dad's side and the 3rd generation on my side of the family. And I get all choked up knowing that they are sacrificing their time also.
Veterans Day to me is a day to show our respect to veterans.
Veterans Day means to me as in we celebrate people who fought for our country and who would risk their lives to protect us. And that I would say probably eternally grateful for giving us our freedom. And always more people join the military every day, and then Veterans Day just to thank them, basically. That's what I think.
I think we celebrate Veterans Day to celebrate the privilege that we have to live in a country such as America, and that privilege was granted to us by our veterans, many of whom died for that right. My father spent 5 years in the military during the Second World War. My grandfather was in the First World War, and I had numerous uncles who were in the Korean War. I went to a high school in Joliet, Illinois, and of my graduating class, 17 of my classmates died in Vietnam. I think of them a lot, but particularly on Veterans Day, and I think that's something that we should all remember.
I think we celebrate Veterans Day because it's not every day that we thank them. A lot of time we forget what they're doing in other countries.
I think we celebrate Veterans Day to honor people that have served our country and helped protect us in times of war or in times where we're not in war. So we're honoring those people, even people that haven't just died for our country, but even have just served.
I think we celebrate Veterans Day for all the veterans who lost their lives protecting us and buying us our freedom.
I think there's a lot of reasons, really. Main thing is to kind of celebrate the sacrifices that many people have done to make this country free. I think it's also a way of remembering. Back many, many years ago, it was very unpopular to be a veteran. And through the years, again, it's become important. People have realized the fact that we have gotten much from the sacrifices that veterans have made. And this gives not only past veterans family members of past veterans, but the new generations an opportunity to realize how important the sacrifices are.
All right, well, what does Veterans Day mean to me? To me, it's a day where we get to say thank you to our heroes, the ones that like fought for us and have done so much for us, and they haven't even asked for anything in return. And today is a day that we get to say thank you, and even though they deserve so much more than that, but I don't know, thank you.
I think we celebrate Veterans Day as a way of showing our appreciation for the men and women who make sacrifices in their lives, their health, their families, the sacrifices they make in order to protect our freedom and keep our country safe.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for serving our country.
I would like to say thank you to our veterans, because without you, brave, courageous soldiers, we would not have our America as it is today.
Anyway, it's Veterans Day. We honor them, we write poems, we write many other things, we color pictures for them. Without Veterans Day, we would have no way to honor those who have died, served, or done extremely well. All the veterans out there, we thank you.
Thank you! Thank you! Thanks.
I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of them, and that I couldn't be more grateful for a better country and for a better group of individuals than the veterans we have. Thank you.